Hey guys, Mike with Financeable here. Today we're going to talk about a common finance interview question, which is, walk me through the income statement in plain English. I'm going to walk through each of the line items with you and help you understand what each one means in detail so that you can nail this question and get the job. By the way, if you like these videos and find them helpful, definitely hit the like button down below and subscribe. We have a lot more coming. Let's hop in here. Let's start off here at the top of the income statement with revenue. Revenue reflects the money earned from goods and services sold to customers. And I want to emphasize the term earned here because this is a reflection of what's earned, not necessarily cash. So remember, from an accounting perspective, we record revenue when the transaction is earned and substantially complete, not necessarily when the cash changes hands. Next, we have cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold reflects the cost of the goods or services that we sell to our customers. Now again, a couple little caveats here. First, from an expense perspective, we always record expenses when they're incurred, not necessarily when we exchange cash for whatever it is we're selling. So this is the incurred expense, not necessarily cash. And the second thing to note is, if this were a services business, we'd probably call it cost of sales as opposed to cost of goods sold. Then after that, we have gross profit. Gross profit reflects the core profit from whatever it is that we're selling to our customers. So this is the kind of the root, the core of the business when we get down to the gross profit line. Next, we have selling general and administrative, or SG&A expense, which is all of the overhead and sales expense that's not directly tied to producing whatever it is that we sell. I should note here that this is also referred to as OPEX, or operating expense. So in the finance world, they don't usually explain this to you, but OPEX, operating expense, SG&A, and selling general and administrative expense are generally the exact same thing unless someone specifies otherwise. To make this a little bit more tangible, I'd like to quickly walk through some of the key expenses within SG&A. So first, we have selling expenses. So payments to any salespeople or any associated advertising or marketing expenses. Then we have overhead. Let's say we have a headquarters and we have a landlord we have to pay to use that headquarters. And all other overhead items like insurance or utilities, those are the things that are going to show up in your SG&A expense. After SG&A, we hit operating profit, or EBIT, which stands for earnings before interest and tax. And the short story here is that EBIT, or operating profit, reflects the core profit of the business before we get to any impact from interest due to debt or taxes. Now at this point, we've hit a key juncture in the income statement, which we'll cover next. The key point we've hit here is what people in finance refer to as the line. And above this line is everything related to the core operations of the business, first of all. And you'll actually hear people in finance refer to all of these items as above the line items, just so you know. And you might ask yourself, who cares? Well, the short story here is all of the items that are above the line exclude the impact of interest and taxes, in particular the interest component, as we'll talk about in a little bit. And so we can compare across companies with different levels of debt. So that's why these items are so commonly used. I should also mention that we have to add to this list EBITDA, so earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, as another metric that is an above the line metric that's super commonly used. Now that we've covered that, let's hop to the next few items, which are below the line. Now, below the line, we have all of our income and expenses that aren't directly tied to the operations of the business, including interest income and interest expense. Interest income is the money we earn on our cash in the bank, and interest expense is what we pay as a cost to taking out debt. Then we have profit before tax, which is just a fancy term for taxable income, and then our income taxes, which is just the tax that we pay on our taxable income. So with that covered, now let's hop back and look at what's below the line and why the below the line items also matter. So as we saw, below the line, we capture all of our non-operating income and expense, as well as taxes. And the significance of below the line items is that they capture the impact of debt. And it's worth noting that the level of debt that a company has relative to its level of equity is referred to as its capital structure. So the way this would typically be expressed is below the line items capture the impact of the capital structure of the business. Now, further, these items are used in private equity and investment banking to some degree, and more in some groups than others, but they're much more widely used in the public equities world. So hedge funds and mutual funds that invest in stocks because hedge funds and mutual funds who invest in stocks actually earn the net income that you see at the bottom of the income statement, which is what we'll cover next. All right, so the final item on our income statement is net income, which reflects the underlying net profit of the business during a given period of time. Now again, I want to emphasize the term underlying. This reflects revenue when it's earned and expense when the expense is incurred, not necessarily when cash flows. So this doesn't necessarily reflect the cash earnings of the business. So hopefully, after this walkthrough, each of the line items in the income statement make a little bit more sense now, and you'll be able to nail the interview question, walk me through an income statement in plain English. If you liked this video and found it helpful, definitely hit the like button down below and subscribe. We got a lot more videos coming. Take care and hope to see you soon.